There will come a moment when no health service in the world could possibly cope, because there won't be enough ventilators, care beds, doctors and nurses. That is the moment of real danger, meaning more people are likely to die, not just from coronavirus, but from other illnesses as well. I urge you, at this moment of national emergency, to stay at home, protect our NHS and save lives.
2020, the year the world stopped. Millions began to hide, thousands lost their lives, and nobody was safe. People were seen as monsters to one another, and the world, well, that was a scary place to be. Coronavirus, a word that haunts us all, the word that broke our hearts, and the word that shut us away. A disease that controls our lives and keeps us prisoner in our own home. A disease we can't even see. Sadly, 1 in 4 of us have had a family member develop mental health issues in the last year. One of these people is my granddad, Derek Jones. This is his story.
Hello, my name is Derek Jones. I'm 80 years of age. In March, I was in Yorkshire and I came down to Upminster, and I planned to come up to Yorkshire to spend my 80th birthday with my family in Yorkshire. But a couple of days before that, the government announced there would be a lockdown and I couldn't travel. The family decided that that was the best thing, that I would stay here until all this damned nuisance was over. I started listening to the news virtually all the time, and then I became so depressed that I decided the best thing to do was, as I was going to be down here in Upminster for 3 months, I would stop listening to the news and stop watching the news on TV. And I thought, as the summer was coming, I would start to live like a hermit, live a hermit existence. And as long as I had lots to do and enough to eat and enough to sleep, then I felt I would be okay. A few years ago, about 20 years ago, I had been quite ill actually for a period of time. So I had spent 3 months on my own. And if we all stuck together, like we did in World War II, we would all come out together and we'd all be healthier and life would go on as normal. I was, however, very disappointed by the people breaking the lockdown, and I'm angry now that they're still breaking the lockdown and putting British people's lives at risk. They're also putting jobs at risk and the economy at risk, but most importantly, they're putting humans' lives at risk. We have a tiny speck in this universe, and why does mankind, certainly during this COVID, wish to destroy itself?
When in these unprecedented times, all we needed to do was love and care for one another. But sometimes this proved difficult to do with no human contact. But coronavirus can affect any age. This is Callum Law, who was unfortunate enough to lose his sister at the age of 19. This is his story.
So guys, my name is Callum Law and I'm here to talk to you about how tough it is, especially for me, but a load of other people that have gone through families that have had coronavirus and been in lockdown and have found a lot of struggle in their life. I was very, very unfortunate to lose my sister, Lauren, to coronavirus. I lost her at the start of April, right at the start of the pandemic, and I'm going to tell you what, it was the most toughest thing to ever go through, to be in a lockdown and get through it all without knowing that I lost my sister, to know that my mum, was not part of my life at the start of my life, and considering how close I was with my sister Lauren, we did everything together. She was my soulmate, and to lose her really did affect me. Coronavirus is not a joke, people. It is real, and it is affecting families and people's mental health.
Rachel, a woman who sadly had to battle against cancer during this devastating pandemic, it made us realise that people can have it worse than what we think. She's just 45 years old. This is her story.
I'm having a stem cell transplant. So they took some stem cells from me in September, and then tomorrow I'll have high-dose chemo, which will basically wipe out my immune system. And then the day after, I get my stem cells back to help me cope with the fact that they've wiped my immune system out, basically. So in for an interesting few weeks, because then I'll be in isolation, so I'll just be in a room by myself for most of that 3 weeks. It's just been really strange because I started my initial chemo at Barnsley just as we went into lockdown. So all my treatment has been during COVID lockdown, really. But I think I've missed out on a lot of support with chemo. Nobody's been able to go into appointments with me, so I've had to do it all on my own.
Pat Rudderham, an elderly lady who struggles with her breathing. She's absolutely petrified of coronavirus.
We're all frightened to go out. We're stuck in every day looking at four walls. I'll be glad when they bring this injection forward for us elderly, which we needed. I'm bad with my breathing. It's upsetting. I'm sorry. It's upsetting.
I'm scared.
I'm scared.
I'm scared. Brandon Hopkinson, an NHS frontline worker who caught coronavirus himself. He spoke to us about the devastation it has caused at Barnsley Hospital.
Most of my exercise I get is at work, and when I'm working, I just that's not stopped for me working at a hospital. But I think definitely on my mental health, it's had some effect, especially at the start. I can specifically remember when I went to work, early on, first lockdown. I was genuinely quite scared to go. Well, we didn't have a lot of knowledge about the virus or about spread or how it affected people. So yeah, definitely the start definitely had quite a significant effect on my mental health. The virus is scary. It doesn't affect everyone the same. I've had it, and it didn't affect me as much as it's affected a lot of my other colleagues. A few that I know have had it quite bad and have had to have a month off work because of it. So it can be awful to people. It does affect people's lives, and people do die from it. For me in work, it's affected me almost every day. Families that have lost their jobs or have lost family members because of it. Just wear a mask.
Thursday nights, on our doorstep, clapping the NHS, really brought us together as a country. But always remember, they fought to protect us, like the key workers, like the care home workers, but you did your bit when you stayed at home. Thank you. In our generation, we will probably never experience anything like this ever again. But if we do, coronavirus taught me one thing, and that is to always be kind. But we must remember, we won't forever be like this. There is always a way out. With a vaccine on its way, nothing is impossible.
It's a difficult thing, but it does help.
Can wear a mask, don't go around and get drunk.
I mean, none of us like wearing masks. I hate it. I really hate wearing the mask. But, if that's the only way you're going to stay safe, I don't really want to go and die.
And what with the death rate, we've got to do something about it.
And I do wish, because I used to help look after people, that I could do it and help them, but I can't. Please give our very, very, very good wishes to all the nurses, doctors, care, home workers who deal with sick and elderly and all the children. God bless them all.
I think coronavirus has affected us in lots of different ways, not just for ourselves, but not being able to go and see our parents who live a long way away.
We don't go out anywhere, we're just stuck in the house all the time, and it's really getting us down this.
It has had a massive impact on how we treat patients in the hospice.
We've seen how scared us as human beings really can be, and there is nothing you can do other than say it'll be okay, when really no one knows how this is going to end.
Just think if it was your grandma that had died through something you did by going visiting her, how would you feel?
My gran's vulnerable and I'm scared that she's going to catch the coronavirus.
But isolate, yes, we have isolated quite a lot. Never stayed in as much in my life.
Not used to the restrictions that have been placed upon us. We make the most of the situation, but I look forward really to the time when restrictions are lifted.
In 2 world wars, we couldn't see them, but this virus, you can't see it.
But it'll be hard not to run up to them and put your arms around them.
And therefore the elderly are now basically kept indoors.
Age UK, Young Mind and the NHS are all charities to help remember that you are not alone. Please, if you need to, get in touch. No matter how alone you feel, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. This country is strong, this country is powerful, and together we are united.
Please go and ask them if you can help them.